So my role was to provide analytical support to the manager and the coaches pre, live and post-game. The majority of my role revolves around looking at the opposition and breaking down their strengths and weaknesses and then feeding that back to the coaching staff. I think as the game and the sport's evolved, it's become vitally important to do research and do your homework on the opposition, different playing styles, different formations, and how they might look to exploit your weaknesses. So I think it's become important that, especially with video, to feed that back to players and provide them with a learning tool that gives them relevant information that they can then take onto the pitch. On a Monday morning, myself and the coaches will have a meeting and we will review the game we just played, and usually the manager will have clips or topics he wants to discuss with the team. That will then be presented before training on a Monday morning. The boys will then go out, train. Training will be filmed, all our training sessions are filmed. And then in the afternoon we may start to introduce our next opponent. So just dropping in a couple of generic points. On a Tuesday we'll then go a little bit more in depth into what the opposition do in possession. On a Thursday, Friday, later and back end of the week, we'll then start to look at weaknesses and how we're going to score, how we're going to exploit teams. And that will be kind of finished up on a Friday with set pieces. So we're trying to break down the information into kind of bite-size 5-6 minute videos. We might have 2 or 3 video sessions a week on the opposition, in possession, out of possession, and then set pieces. But to go alongside that, we'll have unit meetings where we can go into more detail about the opposition and individual players, and those will be fed to the players on specific days over the course of a week. If we play on a Saturday to Saturday basis, we'll look at the opposition on a Monday, for example, in possession restarts. On a Tuesday we might look at them out of possession, and then Thursday the unit meetings, their weaknesses, how we exploit that, and then we finish up at the end of the week with set pieces and then possibly some review of training and how we've trained throughout the week. On a game day, we'll be getting to the stadium, setting up. We film wide angle from the gantry, and then from that wide angle feed we will then go into a laptop, and that laptop will be close to the bench so that we can provide direct feedback to the manager and coaching staff throughout the game. Then at half time we'll be on hand to again assist the manager and the coaching staff with the game footage. We'll be on the radio throughout the game, so if any incidents or events happen during the game, we'll have those ready to provide instant feedback to the players and the coaches if needed. After the game there's a quick turnaround, and our main role is to get the match footage onto the coaches' laptops, iPads, devices as quickly as possible so that we can straight away start reviewing the game and then also move on to our next opponent. With the amount of games in the championship, the turnaround is very, very quick. So it's very, very important that as a department and as a club, we're always looking ahead at our opposition and potentially what they're going to do. But it's getting the balance right, that we don't neglect games that we've played or the game we've just played, and we spend enough time concentrating on areas that we can improve, but also focusing on our strengths and things that we did well. I think as the sport evolves, I think the relationship between analysts, coaches, managers will become stronger. You've seen it this season with the introduction of technology being allowed on the benches in the Championship and in the Premier League now for a couple of years. I think the more and more that the sport embraces technology, the more analysts will be involved and the more important that role will become to a football club.